Hi guys, welcome to the flight this evening, as we're with the 757-200 Monarch Airlines. I thought we'd do a flight from Heathrow to Manchester Airport in the 757-200, as just like the route, and it's a nice little short one, and we get to come in for Manchester on the day 2 arrival, coming out for 05 right. So, as we go into the aircraft and get it all set up, don't forget to like and subscribe guys. I was going to have 2k subscriber goal. With that all said and done, now we can get inside the cockpit and start up ready for our departure. 757-200, and we can now get into our pre-flight chat list and our preliminary pre-flight. So what we can do is we'll get the battery, which is on and checked. Standby power can go to auto, which is also set and checked. We can get on the external power as well. Whilst we're at it, landing gear is down, electrical power is established, bus tyre switches can go to auto, which are checked. From there, the IRS mode switches can go to nav, so there's 1, 2 and 3, which is also set and checked. On DC lights extinguished and a line is on, which is also checked. Parking brake is set. We can go into the CDU now and get everything all done, so I'm just going to brighten up the cockpit a little so we can get some lighting in here. Get some of our panels all lit as well as we bring the aircraft to life. So we're going out in Monarch Airlines, lovely livery. So we're going to the CDU now, where we'll go in our positioning. We're going from Echo Golf Sierra Sierra. As we come down, I'm just going to grab it from here so we can carry on with the rest of the route. From there, we're leaving Stansted. We're coming down into Echo Golf Charlie Charlie, which will be for Manchester. On the departure route, we're leaving out for runway 22. Let's just check the charts as we've got runway 22. We're going to be leaving out on of the Tava 1 Romeo, okay, which is all set. From Tava, we're then going to take the FF757, which will run us down to Buzzard. From Buzzard then we've got the Tango 420. It's going to run us to TNT. And then we're going to take the Dane 2 Alpha coming in on the arrival. So got the Dane 2 Alpha coming in for the Tango 1. Go in, we can activate that up. We'll go to our perf now. As we get all of our perf data all in, we can go to the aircraft ground. So 0 fuel weight today. We have got our gross 92.5, 83.6, which is going to be for our 0 fuel. On the reserves today, we've got 1.9 on the reserves. Cruising altitude is going to be flight level 180. Cost index 73. Which is also set. As we go over to our takeoff, we're going to be going flaps 5. Over for our speeds, we can turn them on. So we've got 137, 143 and 149. We'll get our winds quickly before we do leave. 140 at 09. Okay, which is set. Takeoff speeds will be deleted. We can put them all back in, which is done. Pre-flight complete. So, centre of gravity, we are going for 25, which will give us 4 on the trim, and that is pretty much us all ready to go. So, as we leave out, we have got 16, and that is pretty much it for us as we're going to go max takeoff. So, we'll go back onto the overhead now, and we'll get the aircraft all ready to go. So carrying on for our pre-flight procedures, we'll go overhead now. Yaw damper switches can go on, which are set and checked. EECs can also go on, which are also checked. Hydraulic left and right pump can go on as well, which is also checked. Electronic engine control is set. ELT switches are armed, which they are armed and set. We've got the APU gen switch, which can go on now, which is also set and checked. From there, the bus tyre switches are auto. Utility bus can go on, which is also checked and set. Generator control can also go on. APU selector, if not on, to start. So what we can do is we'll get the APU all up and running, and then we can get all out onto our departure today. So there's the APU started. As we get that ready to go, runway tunnel flights are off, which are set, emergency exit lights which are armed, engine limiter switches are to auto, and they're both set and checked. Engine ignition selector, start switches auto, crossfeed switches off, pump switches put one on for the APU, which is also set. Anti-ice and engine is off, which is also set and checked. Position lights can go on, and anti-collisions can also go on as well. So that is us pretty much all ready to go. Passenger signs can go to on, which are also set and checked. Window heats can come on now as we get the trim air with the recircs, which are also set. Packs can now go to auto, and we can get the engine bleeds along with the APU bleed on as well, which is all set and checked for us today. Land altitude, go to auto 1, and our rate go to auto, which will be set. So from there, the APU now is on, so we can take the external power out. Trim air switches are all on and set. Isolation valve can go on, and we are now ready for our push. So flight directors left and right can go on, which are set. We're leaving out of the runway today on 22, which is going to be the 222. Okay, which is set. We're going for 180. Leaving out on the departure, our initial is going to be 4,000 feet, which is set. As if we have a look on the departure, we can see we're going to rise up. We can also check down on the FMC to make sure that we have got that in 3,000 above, and then 4,000. Then must be to target 4,000. We're then going to roll out. We've got the 11625, which we've got. We'll switch them over to auto for now. Put that in. So we've got the 11625. That's going to be on to the 263, which is also set and checked. Coming down, we can get the map on now, which is set. On for our weather, we can get the weather all on. And we can check that all after as we get ready to go. Auto brakes RTO. And now what we can do is we can call the tug ready for our push and start. Tug's now going to drive us up as we get ready to go. So, as we come in now and get the aircraft all ready for our push and start, we've got Holstein clearance, which is set. We've requested clearance for the pushback. We can put on all of our pumps now, which are going to go on, which are checked. We can check down for the sensors, which you can see 0.9, so first for our hydraulics. Down. EGT, we're going to start the engines up into 1.72 on EPR.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Okay, so we are ready to connect. Get the engine display up. Leave the weather on there. Tug might probably get fried, but to our before start. So fuel is checked, passenger signs are checked, which are on and set. Also got our MCP, which is set. Takeoff thrust is checked. Takeoff speeds are all in, and we are ready to go. So we can get the packs off, which are checked. We'll call out engine start. Minimum 18% N2 verified, and fuel control switches will run.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, so release parking brake.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Thank you very much. So, as we go over now, what we can do is we can get the electronic pumps on and everything. As we are all ready to go, packs are off, and we can go for engine number 2. So, as we can see, 2 is going to start to increase, 18%. We can then get the fuel on board, and then the aircraft will get ready to run. Okay, so EGT is verified. Everything is stable now, as EGT will level off and then we'll be ready to go. So now that engine number 2 is ignited, we'll go for engine number 1. Our flight deck temps will auto get that all set for us as well. Okay, which is all set. So coming down for engine number 1 now, we can see N2 is increased. All pressure etc. will start to rise and vibrations are lifting, so engine is starting, 18% will then start minimum of fuel injection. Okay, so set the parking brake now.
Disconnecting tow, stand by.
Okay, so engines are both on, which are set. We can see that number 2 is stabilised now, as the EGT is both 466, which is also set. Before taxi, we can get everything all back on. So, as both the buses have switched over now, we can go to our before taxi. So APU selector can be turned off now. Engine anti-ice can stay off, as we don't need that. After that, we've got our pack selectors, which can go to auto, which are checked. Isolation valve can go off. Ground equipment is clear. Flaps 4 takeoff is set. We're coming out on flaps 5.
Cell is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
See you soon, bye-bye. Flight controls are free and correct as we get ready to leave out. Once we get above them clouds, should see some nice sun. Leaving out. Status EGSS display, transponder which is checked. We can put that to TA, and we are now all ready to go. So there's VOR 11625, which is in for us as we leave out to Tava. And on our departure route, we can see that Barkway on the 11625. We're going to make a left-hand turn to Tava, and as we leave out, we're going to basically go onto the 350 back onto Barkway. Okay, so go in, check for any discontinuities. We're going to the Mike Charlie Tango. Now, once we get to the Mike Charlie Tango, we can do this now before we do go, so we can get it all in. We are going to put a hold in at the Mike Charlie Tango. So the Mike Charlie Tango, we're going to put a hold in, and we're going to be coming inbound onto the 232. And we are going to be doing left-hand turns, and we can hold that for 1 minute. It should be all good. 3,000 feet above 217 speed and target altitude, which is fine, and leg distance is 5.2 nautical miles. So that's all in now. We've got the hold in. So once we hit the Manchester VOR, we then can come down onto that lovely arrival. We'll hit Trent, and then we'll follow it all in. We'll pass Dane. And then once we get up down to Mike Charlie Tango, we're then going to go into the hold, so then we can lag around onto the 218 to then roll in onto 05 right for the arrival onto the 1155, and we've got the 052. On for our taxi charts, we're going to come out, basically take a right hand turn, and then we're going to make a left straight off the Romeo hold. Line up for 2-2 and blast out, so should be a pretty quick. Okay, so we are ready to go now. For taxi, anti-ice is required, isolation valve switch is off. Recall can be done, which is checked. It's just the parking brake, which is also set and checked. Water brake selected to RTO, which we have got down. RTO is set. Ground equipment clear and call before taxi checklist complete. So,
if the overhead bin is full, please make sure you close it as a courtesy to other passengers. Please double check that all your items are put away so that the aisle is clear and other passengers can make their way to their seats. If you're in an emergency exit row, please leave exit seating responsibilities in the card in the seat back in front of you. If you're not able to comply with these actions, please let a flight attendant know so that way you can be reseated. You are free to use your portable electronic devices during the boarding process. We ask that larger electronic devices are stowed once we depart from the gate. Thank you and welcome aboard.
On now. Let's see if we've got any weather in the area. Winds are leaving out of Stansted.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome aboard Flight 237 with service to Manchester. Our flight time will be roughly 30 minutes.
On the
Please
departure.
note the cabin door is now closed. We ask that you make sure that all devices are in airplane mode and your larger devices are now shut down and stowed. If you have not already, please fasten your seatbelt and verify it is low and tight across your lap. Your tray tables and seat backs must be in the full upright and locked position for departure. Cabin crew, prepare doors for departure, cross-check, verify straps, and stand by for all call. Cabin crew, prepare cabin for departure.
Can be pre-armed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your complete attention to the flight attendants as they demonstrate the safety features of our aircraft. You will notice a light illuminated above your seat. When this light is illuminated, please fasten your seatbelts low and tight across your lap. To fasten, insert the metal fittings into one another and tighten by pulling on the loose end of the strap. To release your seatbelt, lift the upper portion of the buckle. We suggest that you keep your seatbelt fastened throughout the flight as we may experience unexpected turbulence. There are several emergency exits on this aircraft.
So we can see we're going to be going out.
Now to locate your
see the clouds
exit.
above.
In some cases, your nearest exit may be
Overhead
behind you.
now,
If we need to evacuate the aircraft, floor-level lighting will guide you towards the exit.
So
In the event that the cabin loses pressure, an oxygen mask will drop right in front of you. Press the flow of oxygen, pull the mask towards you. Place it firmly over your nose and mouth.
Get on
Secure the
departure
elastic band
charts up
behind
just
your head.
before we take
Tighten the
off.
straps if necessary and breathe normally. Although the bag does not inflate, oxygen is flowing to the mask. If you are traveling with a child or someone who requires assistance, secure your mask first and then assist others. Leave your mask on until a member of the crew advises you it's safe to remove it. In the unlikely event of a water landing, a life vest is located in a pouch under your seat or between the armrests. When instructed to do so, open the plastic pouch.
So here we are now at the hold.
Push it over your head.
We're going to
Wrap
come
the
on
straps
to the
around your
runway.
waist and buckle at the front.
So
Pull the
on
strap
the
to tighten.
runway tunnels,
Inflate
which
the
can
vest,
go
pull firmly on the red
on
cord only when exiting
and leave the
aircraft.
wing off.
If your life vest does not inflate
Landing
automatically,
lights
blow
can
into the mouthpieces for
right as we
manual
go on.
inflation.
Flight deck door
This
can
vest
be
is
denied,
equipped with a whistle
so
and
set
light.
and checked.
If necessary, your seat cushion can be used as a secondary flotation device. Pull the cushion from the seat, slip your arms into the straps, and hug the cushion to your chest. Please securely stow your personal items. Make sure your seatbelts are fastened and seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. We remind you that this is a non-smoking flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the smoke detectors located in the lavatories is prohibited by law. All of this information and more can be found in the safety card located in the seat back in front of you. We suggest reading this and letting a cabin member know if you have any questions. Thank you for flying with us again, and we hope you enjoy your flight.
So here we are now lining up for runway 22, ready for our
Please note the
departure
cabin
of
lights
the
will be
lovely
dimmed for
Stansted.
departure and landing. If you require additional lighting, there is a reading light on the panel above you.
Okay, so put the parking brake on, which is set. We are lined up now, ready to go. So before takeoff checklist, we've got clearance, which is checked, weather radars, rain display as needed, white anti-collisions, which are on and set, landing lights, which can now go on, which are also set and checked, flight door is denied. From there, we've got flaps 5, which are set, calling out for our speeds. We're coming out on the 222. Once we leave out onto that right hand turn, we're then going to basically head up towards Barkway. onto the 350, which will then track us onto the 263, 4,000 above, between 3,000 above and under 4,000, 5 dmi from Barkway. So we are all ready and configured to go. So landing lights and everything are set and checked. Going to come out, so we can release the parking brake, can power up to 40%, forward on the column, and toker. Full pressure on the yoke. Speed life. Steady knots, throttle hold. 100 is back on the column. V1, rotate. As we hold down and start our climb to 4,000 feet. Okay, so make that left hand turn. We're going to take the 336 now, all the way around. As you can see, that big climb out for us. As we swoop through the clouds. Up. There's altitude hold, so the aircraft's now going to start to level off 4,000 feet. We're going to hold out for. Actually, the throttles will come back. Just make that right onto the 336. There's 4,000, so we can lift up a little. Just hold 4,000 until we get down into Barkway. Just sweep into the right just a little more, which is set. We'll bring the map down just a little more as well. And as we're on 210, we can now power up to 250. Okay. So there's the left turn, let's come back, realign ourselves. Make that left back in, 4,000 in, and there's that left to bring us on back for Barkway. Going on the 336, which is also set and checked. As we just skim the clouds now, ready for that left hand turn onto the 226. And then we'll start making our way up to lovely Manchester. So what we can do now is we can activate the autopilot, which is in, and checked. So after takeoff checklist, we have got pack selectors are auto, which are set, landing gears up and off, which is also set and checked. Flaps are fully retracted, coming over 4,000 feet, holding, everything looks fine overhead as we're holding 250, ready to make that left hand turn onto the 226. So there's a 226 coming in, and as we're leaving now, we can go directly straight up. Okay, 187, quite a bit of change can go. Understood. Holding the VNAV, which is going to take us up to 180 in just a few moments. So 4,180 for buzzard, which is going to be all set and checked. Passing through and out, we're still holding. Come round into that hold, which we're then going to basically follow around and come round all the way down. We'll missed approach, we get rid of the vectors, which are in and set, and there are no discontinuities ready for us to come in. Okay, so seeing as we are all good to go, I'll leave you with the Takeoff cinematics, guys. So don't forget to like and subscribe and leave your comments down below. That helps get to that 2K subscriber goal, and I'll see you when we get back from the cockpit ready for our top of the simulator coming from Manchester for your ILS 051. So I'll see you guys in just a second. Hi guys, welcome back to the flight deck. As we are just 20 nautical miles out now, and we are ready to come down. I thought I'd bring the view a bit closer for you guys so we can actually see some of the instruments as we're going along. So as we go to our descent, our cruise and our climb, our progress, we've got 11574 Trent which is coming in, and we are about to go. So on for our descent now in the forecast, coming down on the MCP, we'll be coming down for 3000 for Charlie Tango. So put 3000 in just above, get the VNAV in as well. So minimums is going to 052 course. I'm going to get it in now. 11155 off the 052 course. 52, which is set, coming in for our minimum, which is going to be 386. Decision on 200. So we've got a decision right here. So we can leave that at 200, which is set and checked. Coming down on the approach, we've got 132, which gives us 137. We're down through 14,000, so we're looking around just under 743 feet per minute, 3 degree glide path. This approach point is at 00 from the localizer 2.34 VOR, so as we get to the airport, that's this approach point. Coming down, going for our descent checks now. So off the descent, on pressurization, which is on full landing. Landing altitude coming down is going to be 257. So I'll put it at 260. Decisions 386 for 200, which you've got set. 11155 the 052 course, which is also in and set as well. We're coming now down in full Dane. There's Trent coming in for 11570. And then we're going to basically head down to Dane now, where we're going to track in on 11355. So once we pass Trent now, we're going to head on to the 312. Okay, which is passing through 12,005. There we are now, we're getting ready to join on. And then once we do, we can then leave off to Manchester. So we can see that we are 10 knots away from Trent. Going to make that left-hand turn onto 312, which will also be set and checked. Passing through 12,000 now. Under 10, we'll slow to 250. As we have to see on the descent, 240 under 10,000. 210 for Manchester, hold left. Carry 210 all the way down, so we'll swing around on the left hand to the right. So Trent's coming in now, we can zoom down in. As we can see the clouds, which are for us today. Miles out. So as we get ready to go left now, we can get Manchester, which is going to be 11355, and that is going to be the same 312 course. So we'll see if it automatically switches over 1135.
Please return to your seat as the seatbelt sign is now on.
10,000 feet per minute, just passing down to 10,000, we go overhead now, get the landing lights on, which I'll set and checked.
We have begun our final descent to Manchester. Flight attendants will be passing through the cabin to select any craft one final time. Please ensure tray tables are stowed and seats are in the full upright position. Please also store any carry-on items either in the seat back pocket or under the seat in front of you.
Open the speed brakes. The aircraft, so I pulled the view forward. It was originally here, pulled it to here, so you guys should be able to see a lot more clearer now. As I did notice with the Tolis, I see a few people pull out screens because the view's so far back you can't actually see, which is understandable. It's just something with the Tolis that is like that, because I like you guys to be able to see the instruments, so I pulled everything forward as we now head on to 11355, that's 312. So there's Manchester coming in, and there's the VOR coming down. As we leave, we can get the 113 in as well on the other side. There's 312, which is checked. brakes can now be retracted and they are armed. So as we descend now further through 9,000 feet, with the aircraft all ready to go. Passing through 9,000, we now currently are just waiting to get to Manchester, which we are currently 20 nautical miles out, as we can see on the DME. We've got the INS which is in, coming down for 137, auto brake we can take down into Manchester on number 2, as we don't need to be coming in super fast today on the arrival. Decision height is 200 feet. And MTA is 386, I think. 386, and the MTA and the decision height is 200. So QNH is coming down, passing down, transition level. So we'll just say it's 5,000 feet. So we'll get the QNHs up. So as we set down for Manchester, the QNH is 1014, which we will get in. Okay, 1014, so we're passing 5, so because we're running on the old dials, we'll wait until we pass 5,000 transition, 240, we'll slow to 210 by the time we get to Manchester. So Manchester should be in view just any moment now. There's Manchester out, and there we are ready to go in for that lovely arrival turn. So there's the clouds as we come in. As we're going to make the right to left, I'm just going to bring us onto the 218. 757 is a very relaxing aircraft to fly. 11.5 DME out. Like Charlie, Tango now is in sight. And we're going to break away into the hold as we come round the bend. So, cabin crew take their seats for the right. So we've got 1 minute hold. Going in on the left hand turns, passing through 7,005, 3,000 set on the MCP altitude. As we're now going to get ready to go into that lovely hold onto a left hand turn, we'll slow to 210, carry on the descent to 3,000 above. As we're in VNAV, the aircraft should handle the speed. And drop us down in, we've got 137, which will go. See all our speeds as well. So, it's under 220. Okay, so what we can do is now is, as we've spun round on the hold, the exit is harmed. So we're going to come down for 3,000 feet on this left hand turn for 218, which we can now see is coming in. Don't really need the weather now as we're coming down. So, as we start that descent down from 6,004, we are now going to roll in for the runway. So, cabin crew, get ready for the arrival. There's that left hand turn now, as we're going to follow on, breaking away now onto the 218, which is set. And now we descend down for 3,000 feet above, which is going to be setting as we now roll past. So, aircraft's now going to continue inbound, and then once we get 12 nautical miles out, that's when we're going to basically make the right hand turn to come back in 3,000 feet above now, as we're following the 218 outbound. Now we're going to come in on that left hand turn, which will be 11.7 from the localizer, 14 DME from Manchester VOR. Coming down with the localizer, glide slope was out, also got altitude to DME references. Coming down 3,000 feet, we spin around from the VOR, so we head out, then we're going to basically come round, bend onto the 052 for DME, 6.3 from the Manchester VOR to DME 4, we should be at 1510, and as we can see, we've got our speeds etc. 3 degrees coming down, we've got just under 743, it's got 137 for our flaps, there's 5004 as we come through. 113, which is in for Manchester now. And that can be tracked back to the 052 on the come in, which is also set. So the aircraft now is fully configured, ready to come in, and we are ready to go. So landing lights are all on and checked. We've got our seatbelt signs which are on. Minimums is 200 foot decision, 3 hours 386 MDA. Currently coming down on the 218. 3,000 feet, just passing 5, as we're going to get ready now to do that right hand turn to intercept down onto the runway. Temps now, we can turn on the engine anti-ice, which is also set and checked. I'm going to run the ILS as we come round the bend now. We're going to make that right hand turn 11.7 from the localizer, and from the Manchester VOR, which is going to be 11.14 DME. So 14 DME is when we'll be making the turn. Passing through 4005. We've got our speed brakes which are armed. We've got auto brake which is set. Passing through 5000 now. We've got the QNH to 1014 which is set. We'll do it on the reserve gauge as well, and the first officers, which is also set and checked. 210 now, as we get ready, 14 DME, we're going to basically take that right hand turn, which will get us all ready for the arrival. So, on for the landing checklist, we've got the pressurization, which is checked, recall, which can be done, which is clear and checked, which is set, auto brake is set to number 2. VREV landing data, VREV 30 plus 5, which is going to give us a 137. 1 DME to go before we make that right hand turn. You can see we'll wait for the right hand turn to come in before we intercept onto the Sierra Foxtrot, and that is where it will then set in the approach ready to come in. So we're heading back onto the 052 now. Okay, 052, which is set. Coming around the bend now. As we're going to backtrack in 3000. There's 3004. As we get ready to break through lovely clouds down into Manchester today, so we can get the control column over. Ready to bust through as we have lovely X-Enviro in as well. 17 on the temperature. Come around for 3000. Now what we can do is we can activate the approach, which is locked and armed. It's localized over to the left. The glide slope is above now. So we're still in VNAV path, coming down for 3000 feet. Localizer's come in now, so localizer's captured. As we slow down now, we can go to our flaps 5 setting. There's lovely 05 right. As we start to slow our speed now. So as we've got the airport in sight, wait for the glide to slow. Once it gets around 1 point just below, then we can start slowing the aircraft down and configuring it ready for the arrival. So off the landing checklist we have got cabin is secured, speed brake is armed and set, landing gear will be down and flaps will be set 15. So there's a glide slope now, so we can go down to flaps 15, gear down. Okay, 170, and we can now slow speed down. So I've got 150 which is set. Glide slope is captured. As we are now slowing, and we can see we've got our flaps 15 which is in. So we go down to a flaps 25. We'll stick in our 137 as well, which is set for the revs. Plus through 2,500. Coming down now, flaps 30 is engaged. As we're fully established and lined up, ready for the arrival into Manchester now. 8.5 DME out, and we are fully configured, ready to come in. Around about 750 feet per minute as we said. So what we can do is we can disconnect the autopilot and we can disconnect the auto throttle, and now I have control of the aircraft. So we get a bit of trim. Descent down around 750 feet we're looking. With the upgrades that the 757's had, it is actually a lot more stable and secure coming down. There's not really a lot of input and it's holding very, very nice. So that is something nice to see. So most likely we'll be using this a little bit more on the channel too. 138, we can just slow just a little bit, so we just pull throttles back just a tad. As we can now lift up a little, still holding 2 red, 2 white. That should bring us down to 1,000. 1,000, which is set. Glide slope's coming back now, so we can start to come down. There's our 137, which is also checked. Landing gear is down, we are at flaps 30, we've got 137, which is in. As we now follow that descent down, ready to come into lovely Manchester. Okay, 750 we're looking.
Minimums.
Continue.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, just a little bit of rudder, just brings back centre line. And speed ready. So speed brakes are up. And reversers are active. Pressure on the yoke. And there we are guys, now in Manchester. Any launch reversers can be stowed. Holding the auto brake now. And we can start to pull off the runway. So retract the flaps. Auto brake can be set back. Flaps will be fully retracted now. As we come off and get ready off of the hold.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Manchester. The local time is 6:42 p.m. and it's currently about 16 degrees Celsius. You can now use your mobile devices. Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete stop and the seatbelt sign is turned off.
So
Remember
we are all
use
set
caution
to
when
go.
opening the
So
overhead
now what we can do
bins
is
and
we get
items
the
may have shifted
APU
during the
started
flight.
up.
If this is your final
And here we are in
destination,
Manchester,
we thank you for
guys. So
flying with
I
us.
hope you enjoyed the
If you're
flight.
making a
What I'll do
connection,
is
we
I'll
encourage
take you
you to
down
check
to
your
the
itinerary
landing
to ensure a
cinematics
smooth
now.
continuation of
So
your
don't
journey.
forget to like and
We
subscribe,
apologize
leave
for
your
the
comments
delay.
down below.
Please
And
coordinate
I'll
with
see you on the
airline
next
staff
favorite
as
flight on
necessary
the
regarding
channel.
connecting
So
flights
take
or
care, guys. I'll
vouchers.
see you very soon.